two streaks of light swiftly darted across the surface of the thunder slurry lake. Behind them, the lake's surface rippled as faint silver figures flickered through the waves, moving with ghostly speed. "Brother Lin Dong, what are those?" Mu Lingshan asked, her small face filled with surprise as she glanced back at the strange movement. "The alien demon aura within those silver corpses has grown too strong. It seems the Thunder Lake's lightning power can no longer suppress it," Lin Dong said, his lips pressed into a thin line. His expression was serious. The deeper they ventured into the Thunder Rock Ravine, the denser the alien demon aura became inside the silver corpses, making it increasingly difficult to suppress or eliminate them. Lin Dong vaguely sensed that their intrusion might be the cause of this disturbance. Before they arrived, the power of thunder and the alien demon aura had maintained a stable balance. But their presence likely disrupted that balance, allowing the alien demon aura to gain the upper hand and reanimate the once dormant silver corpses, turning them into murderous demon puppets. "Does that mean we won't be able to retrieve the Heart of Thunder?" Mu Lingshan gripped the life and death coffin lid in her hand as she spoke. The sheer number of silver corpses far exceeded what they had previously encountered. If they were swarmed, it would undoubtedly be a troublesome situation, making the task of collecting the Heart of Thunder all the more impossible. "Let's wait and see," Lin Dong replied after a moment of thought. With this unexpected turn of events, it was clear that no one here, no matter how strong, could escape unscathed. Though the silver corpses were formidable, the various experts present weren't easily dealt with either. As his words faded, Lin Dong shot forward, quickening his pace, with Mu Lingshan closely following behind. The chaos within the depths of the Thunder Rock Ravine spread rapidly. After all, Lin Dong and his group weren't the only ones searching for the Heart of Thunder. Many other powerful individuals had already ventured deep into the ravine. This disturbance soon enveloped them all. Caught off guard, several experts were slain by the silver corpses within moments. Even those lucky enough to escape with their essence spirit intact were quickly weakened by the thunderous energy within the thunder slurry, slowly fading into nothingness. The scene quickly devolved into a bloodbath. Fear spread like wildfire through the Thunder Rock Ravine as countless experts retreated in terror, watching the horde of silver corpses charge out of the ravine. "What's happening? Have these silver corpses been turned into puppets?" Whispers of alarm rippled through the crowd of retreating experts as they gazed at the advancing silver corpses, confusion and fear evident in their voices. "Don't be afraid. These silver corpses may be strong, but they lack intelligence. They're not difficult to deal with, there are just too many of them. As long as we break through them, we can reach the depths of the Thunder Rock Ravine to find the Heart of Thunder. The ones forming below will be of even better quality." Amidst the rising panic, shouts rang out across the thunder slurry, spreading a different kind of energy, greed. Despite the worsening situation, no one was willing to let go of their desire for the Heart of Thunder. The effect was immediate. Many of the latecomers, who hadn't yet managed to obtain a Heart of Thunder, were unwilling to walk away empty-handed. Hearing these shouts, their eyes gleamed with murderous intent. Lin Dong coldly observed the growing agitation among the experts. The earlier claims were true enough. The deeper they went into the Thunder Rock Ravine, the stronger the silver corpses had been in life. Consequently, the alien demon aura within them was far more potent. If they could purge that aura, the resulting Heart of Thunder would indeed be of superior quality. But all of that depended on whether they could deal with the raging silver corpses first. Roar. Just as these thoughts crossed Lin Dong's mind, the silver corpses that had surged out of the Thunder Rock Ravine let out beast-like growls. Dark, malevolent energy swirled within their hollow eye sockets. Without hesitation, they gleamed with a silver flash and charged towards the experts like a tidal wave. Kill. Having recovered from their initial shock, the experts from various factions shook off their fear, spurred on by their greed. A wave of shouts erupted, followed by a barrage of powerful martial arts techniques that surged towards the oncoming silver tide. Boom, boom. The collision was deafening. The terrifying force of the impact created a vacuum 1,000 feet wide at the bottom of the Thunder Lake, even pushing away the surrounding thunder slurry. With so many experts joining forces, the result was devastating. Damn it, be more careful. If the silver corpses get destroyed, there won't be any Heart of Thunder left. Some powerhouses looked at the now powdered silver corpses with pained expressions, shouting angrily. These silver corpses beneath Thunder Lake were different from the withered corpses Lindong and his companions encountered before. Although both had been tainted by alien demon aura, there were subtle distinctions between them. The withered corpses retained some of the power they had in life. For instance, the 18 withered corpses carried death energy they had cultivated, which had even condensed into death silence pills. In contrast, these silver corpses did not contain any of their former energy. However, after being immersed at the bottom of Thunder Lake for centuries, their bodies had absorbed thunder power into every fiber. If the alien demon aura within them was purged, they couldn't form death silence pills, but their entire bodies would transform into a heart of thunder, brimming with pure thunder power. Fools! Lindong couldn't help but shake his head at their outcries. Did they really think these silver corpses were just pushovers, easy to handle? At a time like this, they still hesitated to give it their all. Roar! As if to confirm Lindong's thoughts, low growls emerged from the silver corpses below just after the lamentations from the powerhouses. In an instant, a brilliant silver radiance burst forth, and the corpses broke through the encirclement of the fierce martial arts techniques that had trapped them. Attack! As long as we drive out that strange energy inside them, they'll turn into hearts of thunder. Gazing at the charging silver corpses, the eyes of many powerhouses glowed with a mix of red fury and bloodthirst. Their primordial energy surged, and they met the silver corpses head-on with full force. Boom! Two torrents of power collided with immense force at the bottom of Thunder Lake, causing the lake to churn and overturn violently. The impact was so intense that it sent shockwaves through the entire lake. The close-quarters battle was brutal. One side had already lost all signs of life, while the other was driven to madness by the allure of the Heart of Thunder, making the fight exceptionally ruthless. Let's join in, but be careful. Lindong's eyes flickered as he observed the chaotic battlefield. He spoke to Mu Lingshan, recognizing that the battle was at a stalemate, offering them the perfect chance to fish in troubled waters and collect more Hearts of Thunder. Okay. Mu Lingshan nodded eagerly, her excitement barely contained. The scene before her had already made her eager to jump into the fray, but she held back until Lindong gave the go-ahead. The two figures moved almost simultaneously, darting out towards the battlefield. Instead of heading for the densest areas of silver corpses, they chose to stay on the periphery, quietly taking out the ones that strayed from the group. The chaos at the bottom of Thunder Lake grew more intense, and the wild energy surges created towering waves on the lake surface. This display startled the incoming powerhouses, but the thought of the Heart of Thunder's allure quickly overcame their fear. With splashes echoing, one figure after another plunged into the depths of Thunder Lake. Bang! Lindong's palm struck like lightning against a silver corpse, a gentle white glow seeping into its body. The black light in its eyes quickly dimmed and disappeared. With the ancestral stone in his possession, purging the alien demon aura from these corpses wasn't too challenging for Lindong. As the alien demon aura dissipated from within, the silver corpse began to tremble, lightning flashing across its form. But just as the lightning was about to condense, cracks spread across the corpse's surface. Sigh. Seeing this, Lindong sighed and casually tossed the corpse aside. Its internal thunder power had already dispersed earlier, leading to a failed attempt at forming a Heart of Thunder. Heh, Lindong, you've got terrible luck. Nearby, Mu Lingshan cheerfully waved her hand, holding up a freshly condensed Heart of Thunder from a silver corpse she had just defeated. Over the previous period, she had already collected 4 Hearts of Thunder, while Lindong, though quicker at purging the alien demon aura, had only obtained 2. Lindong cast aside the corpse and dashed forward again with a laugh. Then let's see who can collect the most. Mu Lingshan giggled in response and darted towards another nearby silver corpse. As time went on, the battle beneath Thunder Lake grew even more intense. But with more and more powerhouses joining in, the silver corpses gradually began to show signs of defeat. the blood-soaked air finally flowed into a cavern at the bottom, where a towering silver figure, several meters tall, sat quietly. Black demon marks covered his body, and at this moment, those markings opened like ravenous mouths, greedily devouring the bloody energy. Buzz. When the devouring reached a certain threshold, the figure, shrouded in black demon marks, abruptly opened his eyes for the first time in 1,000 years. A sinister black flame flickered in those eyes, sending chills down anyone's spine. An overwhelming surge of energy erupted from the depths of the lake with astonishing force. Countless silver figures clashed in a chaotic display of power, with each collision echoing through the depths. Occasionally, someone coughed up blood and was sent flying, but more frequently, the silver figures would gradually shatter one by one. The relentless waves of treasure hunters pouring into this underwater battlefield began to overwhelm the silver corpses. In many places, groups of a dozen or more strong cultivators were ganging up on a single silver corpse. It was clear that the silver corpse uprising was nearing its conclusion. Boom! Lin Dong's figure moved like a shadow, silently approaching a silver corpse. His palm shot out with lightning speed, pressing against its chest. A flash of white light darted from his fingertips and quickly burrowed into the corpse. As the white light entered, the silver corpse's body instantly froze, and the black energy flickering in its eyes began to dissipate bit by bit. At the same time, lightning started to gather around its body, but this time, there were no signs of the usual collapse. Phew, that was close. Lin Dong smiled faintly, seeing this scene. Lightning flickered and rapidly converged. In just a few breaths, under the watchful and greedy eyes of many, a heart of thunder took shape. As soon as the heart of thunder formed, Lin Dong swiftly grabbed it and stowed it away in his cosmic bag. Brother Lin Dong, how many hearts of thunder have you collected? Mu Lingshan cheerfully skipped over and asked with a playful grin. 8. Including the ones from before, that makes 17. Lin Dong replied with a smile. I've got 20. Mu Lingshan boasted proudly, her twin pigtails bouncing as her doll-like face lit up with an adorable glow. Lin Dong couldn't help but chuckle as he patted her head. Collecting 20 hearts of thunder was indeed quite an achievement, especially considering how many powerful cultivators were fighting over even a single one. Many didn't even have one to their name. Keep an eye on those people from the 9 Nether sect. They've been watching us since earlier, Lin Dong said quietly. As he spoke, his gaze flicked toward a direction where several members of the 9 Nether sect were gathered. The one leading them was Pang Hao. Sensing Lin Dong's gaze, Pang Hao turned his head and their eyes met. Pang Hao smiled faintly, though there was a playful glint in his expression. Those annoying pests that just won't go away, Mu Lingshan muttered, clenching her silver teeth. She tightened her grip on the life and death coffin lid, clearly tempted to bash it into Pang Hao's group if not for their sheer numbers. Lin Dong gave a cold smile. The 9 Nether sect indeed had many strong fighters, but if Pang Hao thought he could treat Lin Dong like an easy target, he would soon learn that he had badly miscalculated. As the battle beneath Thunder Lake dragged on, the chaos gradually subsided. The remaining silver corpses, under siege from so many powerful cultivators, were swiftly wiped out. When the last one was defeated, a brief silence fell over the lake bed. Blood swirled through the lightning-infused waters, staining the silver currents red. Clearly, many had perished in the earlier frenzy. Some were slain by the silver corpses, but others were killed by sneaky strikes from behind. The warriors who had come here were all ruthless and cunning, each eager to eliminate anyone standing in the way of their treasure. Phew! As the slaughter came to an end, many cultivators let out heavy breaths, their primordial energy swirling chaotically. Some looked excited at their gains, but their gazes remained wary of those around them, fearing someone might make a sudden move and steal their hard-earned hearts of thunder. Tension thickened in the air. Though the brutal battle had just ended, the atmosphere at the bottom of Thunder Lake turned tense and ominous. Those who had fought side by side now subtly distanced themselves from one another, their eyes full of caution. Pang Hao didn't pay much attention to the gazes cast in his direction. Instead, his playful eyes landed squarely on Lin Dong. The latter, however, returned the stare, his eyes cold and unwavering, as if trying to discern what kind of trickery Pang Hao was plotting. Brother Lin Dong, it seems you've had quite the harvest this time, no? Pang Hao said with a bright smile, his voice calm and amiable. I'd wager you and your companion have collected close to 30 hearts of thunder, right? His words caused an immediate stir at the bottom of Thunder Lake. The eyes of several nearby experts instantly reddened with envy. They had fought tooth and nail, only managing to secure 2 or 3 hearts of thunder each. Yet here Lin Dong was, holding close to 30 of them. An astounding number. One by one, those greed-filled gazes slowly turned toward Lin Dong and his companion, their intent clear. In the distance, Lu Xiangshuan and the members of the Xintian Palace watched the scene unfold. She could tell that Pang Hao was deliberately targeting Lin Dong, but said nothing. She had no personal connection with him, so there was no reason to intervene. That kid's in a bit of bad luck. A lean, unremarkable middle-aged man behind Lu Xiangshuan murmured quietly. Even though their strength isn't weak, they don't have the backing of a major faction like us. It's hard to deter other experts. Now, with 30 hearts of thunder on them, it's almost impossible for them not to attract unwanted attention. Uncle Tao, do you think we should step in? Lu Xiangshuan asked with a slight nod, a charming smile forming on her lips. Let's just watch for now. We've got plenty of hearts of thunder ourselves. There's no need to rush into anything. Besides, that kid isn't simple. If Pang Hao thinks he can back him into a corner so easily, he might be in for a surprise, the middle-aged man said softly. Agreed, Lu Xiangshuan replied with a slight nod, her beautiful eyes glancing curiously at Lin Dong in the distance. She had crossed paths with him before and knew his strength wasn't to be underestimated. However, now that he was surrounded by a pack of wolves, could he still remain calm? This guy. Lin Dong's eyes darkened as he noticed the greedy, bloodshot stares aimed at him. Pang Hao's few words had cunningly placed him in a precarious position, making him the target of many. Nearly 30 hearts of thunder were enough to make anyone's heart race with greed. Damn it! Mu Lingshan, her face flushed red with anger, rolled up her sleeves, ready to start a fight. However, Lin Dong reached out and stopped her. Surely the Nether sect has a good stash of hearts of thunder as well? Lin Dong said, looking at Pang Hao with a sudden smile. Pang Hao raised an eyebrow and shrugged, indifferent. So what if they had a large collection? With the strength of his faction, no one would dare try to snatch them. Since you're so interested in my hearts of thunder, how about we make a wager? Lin Dong said, his smile growing. You and I, one-on-one. If I lose, I'll hand over all my hearts of thunder to everyone here. But if you lose, you'll give me all of yours. Half for me, and the other half will be shared with everyone here. How about that? Lin Dong's words ignited an even bigger uproar, and the surrounding experts were stunned. Soon, their eyes turned toward Pang Hao, filled with a mix of surprise and anticipation. Haha, such guts. To challenge Pang Hao like that. Betting 30 hearts of thunder, now that's bold. I wonder if Pang Hao has the courage to accept. Pang Hao's expression darkened under the barrage of expectant stares and the deliberately loud murmurs around him. He hadn't expected Lin Dong to be so cunning, dragging him into the spotlight with such an audacious challenge. And the stakes, 30 hearts of thunder, were no small matter. What a sly little fox. The middle-aged man behind Lu Xiangshuan chuckled softly. Lu Xiangshuan nodded in agreement. Lin Dong had skillfully pulled Pang Hao into the limelight, ensuring that if he backed out now, his reputation as the leader of the 4 demon generals of the Nether sect would be tarnished. Lin Dong's move was ruthless. Faced with the greed of the crowd, he had swiftly dragged Pang Hao down with him. You want to challenge me? Pang Hao's smile slowly faded, replaced by a grim, angry expression. He hadn't expected Lin Dong to be so shrewd, dragging him into such a situation with a single remark. At this point, retreating wasn't an option. If he backed down now, the title of First Demon General of the Nether sect would become a laughingstock. A murderous intent flared in Pang Hao's eyes. He suddenly clenched his hand, and a massive black halberd, nearly a meter long, appeared in his grasp. A terrifying aura surged from him as he spoke in a cold, menacing voice. Fierce and overwhelming waves of primordial energy surged out from Pang Hao's body, forcefully pushing back the surrounding thunder slurry. His strength had undeniably reached the perfect completion of the life mystique stage. Even in the vast chaos demon sea, his reputation was well known. Compared to him, even the likes of Zhou Qian from the Celestial Wind Sea region paled in comparison to this leader of the 4 demon generals of the 9 Nether sect. Pang Hao stood arrogantly, wielding a black halberd. The weapon's savage design gleamed coldly, exuding a menacing aura. Anyone could tell that this was a fearsome weapon, and clearly, it was a powerful pure primordial treasure. It was no exaggeration to say that Pang Hao's reputation as the top of the 4 demon generals wasn't just empty bragging. TSK, what an imposing aura. As expected of the finest disciple of the 9 Nether sect, that halberd he's holding, could it be the sky-splitting ghost halberd? They say it's a mid-grade pure primordial treasure with immense killing power. Looks like Lin Dong picked a tough opponent this time. Pang Hao is strong, no doubt. But Lin Dong isn't ordinary either. He managed to steal the Silver Tower key from a Death Mystique stage expert. That's not something just anyone can do. True, if these two fight, it's bound to be a battle of dragons and tigers. As for who will win, well, we'll have to wait and see. Lin Dong gazed at the intimidating figure of Pang Hao, a smile creeping onto his face. He said softly, "So, it seems you've agreed to the terms I proposed earlier?" Pang Hao's eyes were cold as he gripped the halberd tightly, his voice icy. "As you said, the wager will be 30 hearts of thunder." The 9 Nether sect experts standing behind Pang Hao exchanged glances but said nothing. They were clearly confident in his abilities. Given his mastery at the perfect completion of the life mystique stage, there weren't many who could rival him. Although Lin Dong had some renown, if it came down to a fight, Pang Hao was clearly the favorite. "In that case," Lin Dong said with a smile, turning to the crowd, "I'd like to ask everyone here to act as judges. As for the ownership of the 30 Hearts of Thunder, let's follow the terms I laid out earlier. What do you say?" "Haha, naturally. Since both of you have set the stakes, you'll have to honor the agreement. With the 9 Nether sect's reputation, they wouldn't dare sully their own name. Isn't that right?" One of the bystanders chuckled. Many of them were sharp enough to realize that Lin Dong was roping them into his plans. Should the 9 Nether sect lose, they wouldn't dare backtrack on the deal in front of so many powerful figures. Exactly. With all of us acting as judges, no one will get away with breaking the rules. The crowd erupted in laughter, understanding Lin Dong's intentions but choosing not to oppose him. They didn't care who won the fight. What mattered was that they could get their hands on those Hearts of Thunder. Pang Hao's face remained expressionless, though his gaze turned icy as he glanced at Lin Dong. He knew exactly what Lin Dong was trying to do. "Worry more about whether you can even produce 30 Hearts of Thunder when the time comes," he sneered. Lin Dong merely smiled, though there was a hint of cold, killing intent in his expression. From the very start, Pang Hao had been targeting him, and now that he had the chance to fight openly, Lin Dong was more than ready. "Brother Lin Dong, should I handle him?" Mu Lingshan, holding the life and death coffin lid, asked, her large eyes glaring at Pang Hao with clear hostility. "No need. Just keep an eye on the 9 Nether sect people," Lin Dong replied, shaking his head. Mu Lingshan was comparable in strength to Pang Hao, but if she fought, Pang Hao likely wouldn't have agreed to the wager so easily. Creak. Lin Dong clenched his fist, the bones in his hand cracking softly. Even that faint sound carried a sense of immense power. As he took a step forward, a faint azure light began to emanate from his body. The low growl of a dragon resonated quietly within him. His eyes burned with intensity as he stared at the cold-faced Pang Hao. "Let's begin," Lin Dong smiled. "You won't be smiling for long." Pang Hao growled, fury bubbling beneath his cold exterior. He found Lin Dong's grin particularly grating. Boom. A savage gleam flashed in Pang Hao's eyes as the black halberd in his hand trembled. A sharp, piercing sound echoed from the weapon, filled with a thick, bloodthirsty aura. At the very moment the sharp screeching sound pierced the air, Pang Hao's figure finally moved. The thunder slurry ahead was instantly torn apart as a shadow streaked towards Lin Dong, swift and ghost-like. In Pang Hao's hand, his halberd danced like a venomous serpent, unleashing dozens of ferocious strikes. The barrage of sharp halberd shadows poured down on Lin Dong like a torrential storm, aiming directly for his vital points. Pang Hao's attack was ruthless, with no intention of holding back. Wherever the halberd shadows passed, even the thunder slurry was shattered and dispersed. As the overwhelming halberd shadows rapidly expanded in Lin Dong's pupils, his hand shot up, releasing a crimson light. In a flash, the light transformed into a massive crimson cauldron, forcefully clashing with the incoming halberd shadows. Clang, clang. The sharp sound of metal against metal rang out, accompanied by sparks flying. The violent halberd shadows were completely neutralized as the crimson cauldron spun in place. Whoosh! Just as the storm of halberd shadows dissipated, Lin Dong's figure shot forward. With a light push off the cauldron, his body lunged toward Pang Hao. 10 streaks of azure dragon light patterns shimmered across his body, and faint dragon roars echoed from within. Pang Hao's eyes narrowed slightly as Lin Dong closed in. He could sense a dangerous aura radiating from Lin Dong's body. Boom! A dragon's roar resounded, and a terrifying force burst forth like a flood breaching a dam. At this moment, every part of Lin Dong's body, his fists, feet, legs, head, and elbows, transformed into lethal weapons. His relentless strikes bombarded Pang Hao in rapid succession. The brutal close-quarters combat left many experienced onlookers with somber expressions. They could clearly see the ferocity behind Lin Dong's assault. At first, Pang Hao was caught off guard by Lin Dong's sudden, vicious attacks. But he was no ordinary opponent. He quickly regained his composure, and his long halberd switched from offense to defense. In a short span of time, his defenses became as solid as a fortress, blocking Lin Dong's fierce onslaught. However, each time Lin Dong's attack landed on the halberd, Pang Hao felt a tremendous force traveling through it, making his eyes narrow in alarm. Only by exchanging blows firsthand could he truly grasp the explosive power hidden within Lin Dong's seemingly slender frame. Bang! 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 The two figures clashed repeatedly, moving like specters. Waves of terrifying energy rippled through the area. The surrounding thunder slurry was forcibly pushed away from the 100-foot radius where they fought. Those watching from a distance were filled with a mix of awe and tension as they observed the fierce battle. Both fighters were clearly aiming for fatal strikes, and anyone hit wouldn't walk away unscathed. That Lin Dong, he's really something, to hold his ground against Pang Hao, who's wielding the sky-splitting ghost halberd. Yeah, it's impressive. His body has been trained to an incredible level. If this continues, Pang Hao might not be able to hold back much longer. And if he can't, he has a trump card. But who's to say Lin Dong doesn't have one too? The whispers of the spectators filled the air as they kept their eyes locked on the intense fight, which was growing more unexpected by the moment. Thud! Lin Dong's leg, wrapped in azure dragonlight, slashed out like a blade and slammed into Pang Hao's black halberd, bending it under the sheer force of the impact. Boom! Primordial energy exploded from Pang Hao's body, and black light surged along the halberd, repelling Lin Dong's fierce kick. Not bad, Pang Hao said, gripping his black halberd tightly. He raised his head slowly, looking at Lin Dong with a twisted smile, his expression dark and menacing. He lifted the halberd, pointing it at Lin Dong, and spoke softly, "Next move, I'll finish you." Boom. As soon as Pang Hao's words fell, an overwhelming surge of primordial energy burst from his body like a tidal wave. The sky-splitting ghost halberd in his hand began to expand and grow larger. One move, is it? Lin Dong looked at the suddenly empowered Pang Hao, and a faint smile appeared on his youthful face. But that smile quickly turned icy, his eyes flashing with a blade-like sharpness. Then so be it. Lin Dong took a step forward, and azure light erupted from his body. Suddenly, 20 azure dragon light patterns slithered out from beneath his skin, flowing over his body. A deep dragon's roar echoed across the bottom of Thunder Lake. The dragon's roar now was vastly different from before, filled with an overwhelming pressure that made even the strongest experts around change expressions slightly. Astonished gazes turned toward a young figure standing at the center of it all. Surrounding Lin Dong, 20 azure dragon light patterns swirled and danced. Bathed in their radiance, his once dark eyes now glowed with a brilliant blue light. In this moment, Lin Dong seemed to have transformed into a true high-tier dragon. The aura he emitted, combined with the sheer force of his power, sent a shiver down the spines of those watching. What kind of body-refining martial arts is this? It's terrifyingly powerful, and it's even capable of generating the same kind of pressure as the dragon clans. This guy, he's truly formidable. Many experts, sensing the immense power radiating from Lin Dong's body, couldn't help but be impressed. It was rare to witness someone who had refined their body to the point of exuding a pressure comparable to that of the Dragon Clan's powerhouses. What incredible strength! In the distance, Lu Xiangxuan observed Lin Dong, now enveloped by the 20 azure dragon light patterns, his entire being radiating an aura akin to a giant dragon. Her beautiful eyes flickered with seriousness as she whispered softly, "His body-refining martial arts are quite extraordinary. It may very well rival our Xintian Palace's supreme body-refining technique, the Celestial Saint Body." The middle-aged man behind Lu Xiangxuan remarked, surprise flashing in his eyes. Such powerful body-refining martial arts aren't something one can easily master. This boy, he likely has a rather mysterious background. Lu Xiangxuan frowned slightly. Their understanding of Lin Dong was limited. Previously, he had no reputation in the Chaos Demon Sea, but in a short time, he had stirred up a storm in the Celestial Wind Sea region. Not only that, he had even snatched the Silver Tower key from the hands of the Evil Wind Cavern, for which they had paid a hefty price. Many had assumed Lin Dong was just a lone wolf whose formidable martial arts were the result of sheer luck. But seeing him now, it seemed they had greatly underestimated him. But it looks like Pang Hao is about to use his killer move too. Lu Xiangxuan raised her head slightly, her gaze shifting towards Pang Hao. By this point, black light had gathered around him like a tidal wave. In his hand, the sky-splitting ghost halberd trembled violently, letting out sharp, piercing cries as if it was eager to break free and strike. The aura radiating from Pang Hao's body was just as ferocious. It was clear that the head of the 4 demon generals of the 9 Nether Sect was preparing to use his full strength to end this battle. No wonder he dared to provoke me. Turns out, he's been hiding his cards all along. Pang Hao's figure, now shrouded in overwhelming black light, resembled a demonic god. His eyes, glowing with an eerie black hue, locked onto Lin Dong with icy malice, a sinister grin spreading across his face. Likewise, Lin Dong replied with a faint smile, his glowing blue eyes meeting Pang Hao's cold stare. As his hand gently clenched, muscles tightened, and a surge of dragon-like power coursed through his body. In that moment, Lin Dong felt as though nothing could stand before him without being crushed by a single punch. 20 azure dragon light patterns. Out of the 23 patterns within Lin Dong's body, 10 had been cultivated through his own effort, while the remaining 13 were single-use patterns he had never activated before. But now, they were all at his disposal. The sheer power was terrifying. I know you've made a name for yourself in the Celestial Wind Sea region, but now I'll show you. Dominating that place doesn't mean you can roam freely in the Chaos Demon Sea. A hint of viciousness crept onto Pang Hao's once handsome face as he tightly gripped the trembling black halberd. The bloodthirsty aura surrounding him grew ever more intense. One strike, to finish you off. A cruel grin spread across Pang Hao's face as he suddenly released his grip. In an instant, the black light surged forth, and the black halberd transformed into a massive bolt of black lightning, stretching hundreds of meters in length. The violent energy radiating from it was razor-sharp, threatening to tear everything apart. Boom, boom, boom. As the black lightning shot forward, the surrounding thunder slurry boiled violently. Waves of molten rock surged and tumbled as the black lightning passed through, splitting everything in its path. Skyrend. Pang Hao's finger pointed sharply at Lin Dong, his voice thundering across the depths of Thunder Lake like rolling thunder. Boom. At that command, The colossal black lightning paused for a split second before it shot forth again with unstoppable momentum. As it moved, even the magma at the bottom of Thunder Lake seemed to be forcibly pushed aside. Space itself twisted and distorted in its wake. The surrounding experts watched in awe, their eyes wide with terror. Pang Hao's strike had enough power to kill even a powerhouse at the perfect completion of the Life Mystique stage. Can Lin Dong withstand it? A massive black lightning bolt rapidly enlarged in Lin Dong's pupils, while the 20 azure dragon light patterns spiraling around him seemed to sense the imminent danger, letting out simultaneous, sky-shaking roars. Let's see who takes down whom. The corners of Lin Dong's mouth curled into a cold smirk, his eyes sharp as blades. Without the slightest hint of retreat, he clenched his 5 fingers, took a deep breath, and swiftly formed a mysterious seal. Azure Dragon Celestial Seal. As Lin Dong launched his punch, the 20 azure dragon light patterns instantly wrapped around his arm, and with a dazzling burst of azure light accompanied by the sound of a dragon's roar, they surged forth. Buzz. Everyone squinted from the blinding azure light. The next moment, they witnessed Lin Dong's fist, wrapped in that brilliant glow, fiercely collide with the massive black lightning without any flourish. Boom! A deafening explosion erupted suddenly, followed by a terrifying, indescribable wave of energy sweeping outwards. Despite hastily channeling their primordial energy to defend, many were still thrown off balance, some even stumbling over in a rather undignified manner. But they had no time to worry about that. As soon as they steadied themselves, all eyes immediately locked onto the spot where the azure and black lights intertwined, expressions filled with astonishment. Amidst the relentless assault of the black lightning, they could see a slender figure wrapped in azure light, standing like a mountain, unshaken by the violent storm around him. Break! As their gazes focused, a low voice suddenly rang out from within the azure light. It wasn't loud, but carried an undeniable force. Roar! Following the command, a powerful dragon roar echoed through the air. Everyone watched in shock as the azure dragon light patterns swiftly coalesced into a spiral, crashing ferociously against the black lightning. Whimper! Under the sheer force of this terrifying impact, the black lightning began to tremble violently. A faint, sorrowful cry seemed to echo from within as the spiraling azure light tore the black lightning apart. Whoosh! As the black lightning was ripped to shreds, a streak of black light shot out, transforming into a black halberd that flew weakly backward. The once brilliant aura surrounding it had now dimmed considerably. Thud! At the same moment the black halberd was flung back. Not far away, Pang Hao's face turned bright red, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. His eyes filled with shock and disbelief. He couldn't comprehend how his powerful attack had been utterly defeated. In just one move, the outcome was decided. As the azure light dissipated, Lin Dong's icy gaze locked onto Pang Hao, whose aura had weakened rapidly. A flash of killing intent flickered in his eyes, and with a sudden burst of speed, he appeared right in front of Pang Hao. Before anyone could react, he struck down with his palm, aiming directly for Pang Hao's head, while many onlookers watched in shock. Is he really going to kill Pang Hao? Several people gasped, realizing that Lin Dong was attempting to kill Pang Hao right in front of the 9 Nether Sect powerhouses. How ruthless!